Eddie Murphy really got robbed of his by the Beatles. Hello, everyone. Surprise, surprise. Welcome to Tank Talks. My name's Keith.
My name's Brandon.
Yeehaw. His name's
My
Brandon.
phone click clocked.
What?
My phone just click clocked.
Ah,
I think
okay.
that's what you call it. Goes
That's
off.
what I call it. Whatever it did, that's what I call it. This is Tank Talks. It's been a solid couple months since we've done this. Hope you missed us. We don't have any guarantees for anything in the, for scheduling in the future, but we're glad you're currently watching this video. Hopefully, everything sounds and looks all right. Remote recording and stuff is can be a little bit difficult, but we're not going to call it back in the saddle. I say that all the time, and I have my foot in my mouth. But me and Tank Media Network's not dead. Me and Brandon are still buds. We're still making videos. We're still talking about videos.
Yeah. You know, stuff like this is nice too when you live an hour and a half to 2 hours away. Because usually during summers we take our breaks anyway. Get a little schools out, and I feel like this has been cool because we've talked a lot about doing like little special stuff like this, and I feel like it's been cool instead of just trying to slam a topic in every week.
Yeah. Also, I mean, we both have found a little bit of success. You more than me, but have found some success with other outside Tank Media associated, but not necessarily Tank Media Network enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
You crazy Instagram famous man.
Yeah, I feel like a Take Media Network is slowly becoming our side projects or our side hustle,
Yeah.
as we should call it. We're just gonna get to the point to where you're banking millions playing games. I'm banking millions just talking to NASCAR personalities, and then we're like, hey, we also got some skits over here.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget about those 200, 300 skits we made, please.
Yeah. One day we'll just come together and start designing our own NASCAR games, and
Yeah,
then we'll
that's
lose
what
all
we'll
of
do.
our money.
That's the end game here, folks. So if you're not okay with that, get out. We don't want you. If you're not okay with that end game, then who needs you anyway?
Well, one thing that's weird about Zoom is whenever we film on camera, my eyes are not good enough to see us from a distance. But at Zoom, I can look into my eyes while I'm filming. And there's a lot of times I look and I think, oh, I look really stupid.
Yeah,
So like
me too.
mid filming, I'll start looking at me like, oh, I look stupid. So then I'll start looking differently, or like I also have this struggle where there's no good lighting at my house. It's either too much or I'm either in the shadows or the sun is about to like burn me
Yeah,
alive.
I just shine the light at the wall and hope that enough of it comes back on me to look okay.
Yours makes me mad because it just seems like you don't even really try
I
and you
don't.
get just a really good like look, and I try so hard and this is what I come up with.
You look fine. You got that new light and everything, Brandon. Before we begin, I know we're on the theme of our video here. People know the title. They've clicked on it. I need to tell you,
Uh,
the end of Gravity Falls got me a little bit weepy.
really.
Yeah, that is a good cartoon. That is a
Mhm.
meaningful program.
I think whenever Disney gets away from their formula, they produce really good stuff, and I think Gravity Falls is a great example of that.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. If you guys want to catch up on what we've been up to, Lizzie and
Yeah.
I have been watching Gravity Falls, and I've been working from home.
Um, so today what we're doing is online there's a lot of conspiracies. I feel like now more than ever, every day it seems like there's dozens of conspiracies that are being born. So I took online and I asked what was the weirdest conspiracies you've heard. So I got those, I jotted them down, and I'm gonna give them to Keith, and Keith is gonna rank them for us and let us know I guess on a scale of 1 to 5 tinfoil hats, how plausible it is.
Okay.
Is that maybe how plausible or how crazy it is? How do you want to rank it?
I think if we're gonna rank using tinfoil hats, it's how crazy it is. 5 tinfoil hats is super crazy.
Okay.
1 tinfoil hat is only a little bit crazy.
So
We
I
definitely did a video like this before, right?
yeah, I think we went through a couple of different ones, or maybe I think we were looking at our favorites.
Maybe
I
so.
forget. It's 3 years. People forget. People's attention spans last about a day now.
Yeah.
So
There's nobody's watching this video anymore. Their attention, they lost their attention already.
they've all logged out. Um, all right. So the first one, Trump's uncle had access to Tesla's secret technology, which allowed Trump to time travel and eventually become president. So, how plausible do you think it is that Trump's family, or I guess that this is layered to where there's a time traveling device. Trump's uncle had it, and Trump's uncle went to Trump and said, "Hey, here's a time travel device." And out of everything Trump could do, so he didn't come back and make trillions or whatever. He just decided, I want to become president. A job that no matter how well you do, half of America is always going to hate you. Even
Right.
if you're the best one ever, they're still going to be like, well, I hate you. Keith, how plausible do you think it is that Trump had access to a time travel device?
Question. That's not something someone made up. That's something.
This is something someone heard.
Right. Yeah. So excuse
Someone
me.
out there,
Excuse
yeah.
me. Someone. This is a spreading theory. This is not something that someone just wrote down out of their.
I was about to say, spoiler alert, Keith. It is not true. But yeah,
I'm very interested in the fact that the conspiracy doesn't start until you hit Donald Trump. Like we just take it for granted that Tesla had. My dogs are barking. Yeah, well, like I was saying before, the dog barking occurred, and we had to possibly cut. Maybe you heard it. I don't know. I'm interested in the fact that Tesla has time travel capabilities. That we just kind of say, okay. But the conspiracy is that Donald Trump used this to go back in time. So he got to the end of his life, he appeared, killed his normal self, I guess. We had to hide original Donald Trump because future Trump is here.
I don't understand. It also just says that, like, out of everything they could have done in the world, no one else in Trump's family had something more important. And we're not using it. It's so layered.
And why did the uncle not want to be president? Why he was like, Little Donnie needs to become president. And so
there was nothing the uncle wanted out of life. He was just like, here's a Christmas present. I don't know what to get you this year, Donald, so I got you a time machine.
But he came from the future. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand. That's 5. That is 6 tinfoil hats. Your brain is mush, if you believe that.
All right, here's your next one. Eddie Murphy was originally supposed to be the 5th member of the Beatles, but they kicked him out of the group, and they stole his ideas. I didn't research all of these, Keith, but this one I was like, is there any way it could be true? Just so you know, Eddie Murphy was born in 1961. The Beatles were formed in 1960. So just picture a little baby Eddie Murphy. He's got some great ideas for some rock music, but the Beatles, they're just like, listen, we love this guy's ideas, but we don't want him to be in our group.
Oh man, so this strikes me as like maybe someone did he tell a joke during stand-up about the Beatles, and someone took this to mean like Eddie Murphy really got robbed of his by the Beatles. Oh god, I'm only going to give that 4 tinfoil hats because at least there's no time travel involved. The Beatles were formed in 1960. Eddie Murphy could have very well have been a savant. He's a very funny guy. He could have been a musical savant. He could have, his first words could have been "Let it be." When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. And the Beatles were like, that sounds dope. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy. I don't know which Beatle that was supposed to be. But this little humorous child is writing "Let It Be" right now. We need to thieve those ideas. Guys, don't you want to be the world's most famous band? We should steal this baby's ideas. So I'm only going to give it 4. Could have happened.
All right. Here's another one. The human race is much older than thought, and we have destroyed ourselves several times and have had to start over.
And there's no evidence? How do we start over and there's no evidence of us starting over?
I guess we used to be dinosaurs?
Maybe. So, yeah,
I don't know.
The common belief is that we were just like naked primate people, just waddling around in the dirt until there was enough of us to civilize and not have to kill each other for food. That's, I guess, the common way we believe society was formed. So why did we how, I don't understand. I'm trying to understand how people would think. I guess unless they're saying that the human race has been completely and utterly wiped out, and then it just has had to start over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think there's the argument, and I think too, the best way to read this conspiracy is if you remove yourself, because I feel like any of the major faiths, like if you're a Christian, you're gonna be like, well, I don't.
Well, yeah,
doesn't jive. I think that if you remove that, though, the idea that I think especially like if it's like an evolution thing where there's like a fish plopping out of water, it'd be easier to believe because you're like, well, I guess those first couple of fish were like, they just drowned themselves. I don't know. I guess that's what I don't know if they're just trying to say that humans or if the whole planet has just been nuked.
Over.
And then it's over.
But if we were to believe that matter can't be created or destroyed, then I guess it just has to be long enough for all those fossils and all those different things of past full-on civilizations. Like if we already did this once before and there's no evidence of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like at least 4 tinfoil hats to me. Bunch of crazies.
Here's one. Tricks aren't just for kids. So I guess what they're trying to say is the conspiracy is that adults can eat tricks.
Wait, tricks are just for kids?
It's saying aren't just for kids. So are not just for kids.
So the conspiracy is
that adults are allowed to eat tricks.
Wait. I'm confused at the wording of that. So if it's a conspiracy, they're saying people are skeptical that tricks aren't for kids.
Yeah.
How crazy would it be if adults could eat tricks?
I don't need a bowl of tricks.
Now, I've never talked to a child about tricks, and this is an interesting idea because in adulthood, tricks have always been just little round balls. But whenever I was a kid, they were shaped like fruit. Is that because I'm an adult?
I thought that they were still fruit. They're just like spheres.
No, sir. They're just spheres. Unless you are pure of heart. Unless you have a child's heart.
Keith, I think you might have just stumbled on a conspiracy.
Or unless you have the heart of a child or you're holding the heart of a child, can you see them as a fruit? No, that just sounds like somebody's trying to be silly. 1 tinfoil hat. 1 hat.
Here's the next one. George Washington talked to aliens just before he crossed the Delaware, and all the presidents do just before something big happens. Keep an eye on Trump. So I don't know if they're trying to say the aliens are trying to get Trump or for you to keep a look on Trump before he walks into like. That's also like, what do you mean like keep an eye? Like
this just in: Donald Trump walked into a chrome obelisk that appeared behind the White House. We're unsure what the chrome obelisk, what its demands are.
But he just walks out. And he's like, "It's all good."
Yeah, it's all good. I'm about to do something big, something huge.
So there's a council of aliens. Every president has their cabinet. They say, "Listen, normally I'd talk to you, but this is something big. This isn't something small. I gotta go talk to Plombo."
Plombo and Clorp. Why? I don't understand why people think aliens care about us. Why? Why do they...
not only the planet but America?
Yeah,
like
they're so focused on what a president is about to do. They can fly to other planets, you fools. 5 tinfoil hats. What's wrong with you?
They're really concerned about our economy.
Yeah, why do you think aliens care about us? I have no clue why anybody thinks that.
Also, this implies that like the English did something that really pissed off the aliens.
Yeah.
They were like, George. Also, it's like, George, we're not going to help you by giving you any weapons, but we're going to give you a pep talk and say,
Right.
yeah, cross this river.
So yeah, why the alien thing? Why do aliens care enough to meddle in our affairs? But also, why do they? So they can travel to different planets. We're stupid monkeys with musket balls, and they're worried about being found out. Like, oh, we got to keep ourselves a secret, so we're only going to talk to one. What a people are dumb, man. People are dumb. Draft your tweets.
Um, how many tinfoil hats?
8, 10, 14.
um,
But
Next up,
for the scale, 5.
the Titanic never sank.
Where? Why? There's a ship down there. I mean, people have seen it.
I guess that's just a decoy, a red flag,
What did it
false
have?
flag.
It had
Sorry.
alien bones on it, I bet.
Yeah, they
Uh,
thought that the president was gonna meet them and it sank.
how else? How else would we hide all the alien laser guns that George Washington helped win the Revolutionary War with? Everybody's like, "Oh, it was guerrilla warfare. The British didn't know what to do. It was alien guns." So the
Yeah.
Titanic was full of alien guns that they had to get out of Area 51. It's probably in Antarctica somewhere. 3 tinfoil hats. Who cares? Who cares?
Okay, so also underneath this, after this was posted, someone commented and said, "Yeah, that's why the banking system is the way it is. Follow the trail." So apparently, there's someone on here that they do not think that it's funny that we are mocking the fake Titanic. Apparently,
So
that Titanic it sailed away, and the the bank system. That's why everything went bad. Is
yep.
because the Titanic kept sailing. They hid it somewhere, and they're like, "All right, now that we faked our own death, we're just gonna go kill the banking system."
So what they did was they invited all the rich bankers who knew what they were doing on the Titanic, and they just sailed them off somewhere to live in peace, and so the banking system could fail without them there to run it. That's my best guess. I don't know.
How many tinfoil hats?
Or for the Titanic one, I said like 3, 3.5.
Okay. Here's another one. JFK Jr. and Princess Diana are actually alive and going to make a return soon. There's actually a conspiracy online too that well, I guess tonight would be, or I guess when we're filming this, tonight might be the last night of the Republican convention. But there's actually been a conspiracy started online that JFK Jr. is going to return on the final night of the Republican convention, and he's going to become the vice president. And
He's going to
so,
cash
yeah.
in that money in the bank. He's going to bring the
Yeah.
briefcase.
So apparently they both faked their deaths. They've been some people say this is actually a theory that has gained traction, and people have combined it to where they're both married. So,
Okay.
because I think Princess Diana died in '97, and I think JFK Jr.'s was in '99. I could be wrong, but I mean, it was both the same period. So maybe like Princess Diana faked her own death, and she was like, "Hey, JFK Jr. or JFKJ,
Yeah.
this is pretty cool," and he was like, "Well, I should do that." But they're now okay. It's been 20 years. We're gonna come back out of hiding. So
And they're married, and she only had Elvis and Michael Jackson to choose from besides JFK Jr. So you had to pick the one closest in age at that point.
yeah, the four of them, MJ and Elvis, were like, "Listen, we can't become vice president.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that." But
The 4 of them were like, man, the Titanic, living on the Titanic down here in Antarctica is pretty cool, but I think we're ready to go back. I don't understand the motive why they would want to do that. Why now? Why would you want to inherit the current state of affairs? You know, as far as
also,
a
it's like,
politician.
if that was true, imagine if you were like, you came back and you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be in politics now. I know that I lied to everyone for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
But you could trust me now."
That's just what we need. He gonna drain the swamp. Cause he ain't even seen the swamp.
Yeah.
You plug a straw in that bad boy. That's like 4 tinfoil hats for sure.
4 of them.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let me get to the next one. 5G cell phone service towers caused COVID. Pretty sure they've been around for about 10 years. So I guess just now we've been breathing in all the 5G particles, and
Just
so apparently too
people.
that means that cotton face masks are allowed to no, cell phone, cell phone signals may be able to penetrate your house, but if you put a thin piece of cotton over your mouth, there's no way those bad boys are getting into your lungs.
I'm speechless, dude. I'm speechless. I'm speechless on that. What's different about 5G than 4G? What I mean, what? It's just stronger. It's just that much faster. I'm now downloading toxins into my blood at 100 megabits a second instead of 10. Like what's? I can now get toxins into my brain and blood at a gigabit a second at this point. What a crock of crap.
People just hear 5G and they're like, well, that sounds like it could be demonic.
I, I just don't understand. I just don't like of all things to be worried about. I mean, I just be worried about fire. I don't know. Fire, just random fire. Just fire in general is more dangerous. I just the evidence is all around you that there's nothing wrong with this stupid crap because not everyone's sick.
um, how many tinfoil hats?
Five. Five. If you believe
Um,
that 5G is causing physical illness, it's, that doesn't have to do with like cancer. I'll concede. Oh, all these radio waves are giving us cancer. I'll concede. I can get how you can intellectually make that jump. Like, oh, there's radiation and these kind of different things
yeah.
involved. I don't know. I don't know how it all works, but I can concede that maybe your brain might make that jump. But the crap's it's not affecting your lungs.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Five
Um,
tinfoil hats.
next one. So this person is saying that they heard a rumor that Chicago blames Mississippi for selling them bad guns so that criminals could create crime, and that things would not be bad in Chicago if it was not for Mississippi supplying the bad guns. So either they're saying that Mississippi has sold faulty guns to all the criminals of Chicago, and that's just made them angrier that their guns are fake, or it's saying that guns can be inherently bad or good, and that Mississippi kept all the good guy guns, but shipped all the bad guy guns up to Chicago for a profit.
This this gun is rusty. I just want to kill two people now. Two people gotta die. I don't just the idea of Chicago is the conspiracy is that Chicago is mad at Mississippi for guns.
We're selling the bad guns.
I'm not gonna. You know what? Three tinfoil hats. I don't know about the Mississippi's gun exportation habits to Chicago, and I don't know what quality those guns were. The conspiracy comes from why that would affect anything, but you know what? If you're gonna if you got some, it's at least a fresh thing to worry about. I'd rather someone spend 45 minutes telling me about that problem. I'd rather hear a Chicagoan tell me about that problem for 45 minutes than to sit through any more lectures about how I'm a bad person for whatever other thing that I don't understand right now.
So the question I have, Keith, is if I travel to Chicago, should I worry about someone jumping out saying "die" and then the gun jamming and them saying "ah crap," or a guy stepping out and hearing the gun say, "Louis, I want you to gun down this guy"? Like, what should I be more worried about?
I think the second
there
one.
are guns with a soul, or
Yeah. I think
um
that's the issue, right? Guns have souls, and they're mostly bad.
this one I chose it just because the way it's worded. Elvis Presley is a secret service agent. So for a while, there's been a conspiracy that because he was buddy buddy with, I believe it was Nixon, and some people have said, I think it was like it all stems from he got kind of like an honorable member of some kind of like thing in the government, and
Mm,
people said, "Oh, that means he's real." But it's kind of like if you get a diploma from Harvard and it's
right.
like an honorary diploma. Um, but the way it's worded is just is, and I'm like, that brings in that Elvis, he's still alive, so he was just touring, and he was like, "Listen, I can't help the government and be like the king of rock,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to I'm going to give up all this millions of dollars and fans just so I can crack down and take out the commies."
Yep, and I'll make sure that I die in the most, unflattering way. I'll die like naked on the toilet, so nobody questions it,
Yeah.
and then I'll go get paid, a fairly median salary, probably, to protect the most garbage people in the country. All right, that sounds like the Elvis I know. That's a five tinfoil hatter right there.
All right,
That's a fiver.
I got one final one.
Give it to
Um,
me.
Australia doesn't exist because the world is flat. So not only is the world is flat, but the best way they could sell it is by saying, "Hey, you know this place that has these unbelievable creatures existing there? Let's make up."
Oh my.
And that'll throw everyone off the trail, because when people say, "Well, no, the world is flat," they would go, "Yeah, but what about Australia?" And they go, "Ah, crap! I guess
Yeah,
it,
I
let
love
alone like South America and all."
I love that someone was like, I want to believe the world is flat, but what about Australia? And then the flat earther who was sitting there, drooling on himself, said like, I can explain that. It's like, oh, okay, if you can explain that Australia doesn't exist, you're right. The Earth is flat. The other, because he said Australia doesn't exist because the Earth is flat. So if the Earth is flat, obviously Australia couldn't exist. What? I don't understand the logic as to why Australia could not exist.
You just imagine talking to someone and them saying, "You're like, listen, the world's round," and then they just like take a puff of their cigarette and they go, "I bet you also believe that Australia is real."
Yeah.
And the guns in Chicago are good.
I suppose you also believe that the guns in Chicago have no nefarious plans.
That George Washington is not talking to those aliens.
I suppose you also believe that I couldn't lead you directly to the Titanic above
I,
water.
I bet you believe too, as a late 20-year-old, you can eat a bowl of tricks.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, to be young. To
I,
be naive.
I bet you believe that Elon Musk doesn't know how to time travel.
I think with every conspiracy, Keith, there's a level of like, you have people that believe it, and there's people that say, "You know what, like, I don't know for sure." Like flat Earth, for example. There's people that they hear that and they go, "Well, I've never flown across the planet, so I can't sit there and tell you 100%. I don't know. It sounds kind of ridiculous." But you got people on the edge that are like, "I don't know. Maybe some of this stuff I can believe a
Sure.
little bit, or I don't have proof that state so." But then you have other people that literally go to bed and wake up and nothing is on their mind except for, "I have to expose how we're just a floating pan like
Yeah.
going across the galaxy," and they're just angry that you would poison the youth of
Yep.
the minds of the youth by saying that not only is the earth round, but that kangaroos exist.
Yeah. You have gone too far, sir.
How dare you?
How dare you with your marsupial belief?
You're saying it can jump and it has a pouch?
How dare you? Where does its eggs go? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That's a fiver. That's a five tinfoil hatter. Tinfoil hatter without a doubt. These conspiracy theories. I've heard some wild ones in my day, Brandon. These really do take a lot of them take the cake. Not for being wild conspiracies, but just being like the most ridiculous thing that a human person could believe. Like, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I like to think, you know what, everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own reason why they believe a certain thing. If you believe these things, you need to get yourself checked. Go just have a quick checkup with a therapist or a doctor. Have them do a little scan of your brain. See if there are some bugs or something crawling around in there, pressing the wrong buttons. Just get yourself checked. Go check up on it. Just make sure you're a healthy, high-functioning human being.
You know, I would say too that there is a chance that someone watching this could believe that. So I feel like, honestly, I would love to hear the proof for some of these.
I truly would.
Maybe we're wrong.
We could be.
Maybe there's that interview where Trump slipped up and people said, well, President Trump, like, your president, who'd you like to thank? Maybe he did slip up and say, well, I want to thank my supporters. I want to thank God. I want to thank my uncle for giving me the time machine. Whoops. Maybe there's that sound bite out there.
Maybe it is. Show it to us. Show us the sound bite. And really, that last thing I said about bugs in your brain is really just to rile up anybody who does disagree, because we do want to hear from you. But we'd like to thank you for listening and watching this video. No promises on what happens next on Taint Media Network, but just know that Brandon and I are still out here being creative, just in different ways right now, and we'll hit our groove and our stride doing something one day. Summer's almost over. Coronavirus, maybe not. We'll see. Brandon, is there anything else you have for us today?
I think that's it, Keith. I've just telling Keith, been eating Lara bars, pineapple upside down cake. If you like stuff upside down, if you like stuff pineapple-y.
This episode brought to you by Lara Bar. We'll see you guys next time. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we will remember we love you very much. Bye.